and today we're going to be introducing you to some basic Pilates exercises. These exercises are going to be really good at strengthening your core, giving you a better awareness of good posture and a bit of a full body workout that you can do in the comfort of your own home. If you have any injuries or existing health conditions, please check with a healthcare provider, so GP, physio, OT or doctor before starting this workout so that you're okay to do so. If you feel unwell at any time during the exercises, please stop and rest, and then you can seek advice if you need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up, we're going to do some mat exercises and then a little bit of a cool down at the end. Before you start, we just need to go through what kit you'll need. So you need a mat or something nice and soft to lie on, a carpet, blanket, anything like that. Try not to do it on a bed just because it is a little bit too squashy and you can fall into bad postures without knowing about it. You'll need a pillow for your head, so you can either use a 1-inch pillow, this is a Pilates 1-inch pillow. If you've got one of these, you can use that. If you haven't got one of those, it doesn't matter. You can use a folded up hand towel, which will do exactly the same thing. Also good to have just by the side in case you do need it, is a chunkier pillow, so you can have a 3-inch Pilates pillow if you have one. If not, just one of your sofa pillows that's got a bit more to it would be great. Lovely. Before you start doing this exercise video, it's always good to watch my other video on engaging your core and having a real good understanding of where your core is and how to engage it before you start these exercises, because I will just say engage your core and expect you to know how to do that already. So it's always best to watch that video first, and then you can start doing this video when you're happy with where your core is and how to engage it. If you're unsure at all as to how to do that, please feel free to message me if it doesn't make sense, and I will give you some tips and pointers on how to do that. Okay, so if we're all ready to go, we're going to get started in standing for our warm-up. So we're going to come up into standing and stand on your mat or nice soft surface, and we're going to start by taking our feet out to the side. So we're going to do toes out to the side first and then heels out to the side. This will take your feet into a hip width apart position without you having to think about how big your hips are. So from there, we're just going to do a little bit of swaying forwards and backwards. So going onto your toes and then onto the balls of your feet and onto your heels. So just forward and backwards, just getting a feel for where your feet are on the mat. And then you're going to do the same side to side. So all your weight onto one foot and then all your weight onto the other foot. Try not to fall over. Good stuff. And then I want you to find somewhere where you're nice and even with your weight down through both legs and feet, and all parts of your feet are on the floor, which sounds a bit strange, but you can rock over to one side so the outside of your feet has more weight on it than the inside. So just have a little look down, make sure those feet are nice and even. Good. So from there, you're going to come up to your knees, so you're going to bend your knees over your toes. Just make sure they are over your toes and they're not kissing together or up to the side. And come back up again. Good. And again, coming down and up. One more. Down. And this time, as we straighten our knees up, we want to keep those knees nice and relaxed when they are in that straight position. We don't want to flick them all the way back. If you're a hypermobile person, you'd probably find you can go quite far with this. So you just want to make sure that they're nice and relaxed and nice and just relaxed. From there, coming up to your hips. So we're going to imagine your hips are now a bucket of water filled right to the top. Okay, and we're going to have a go to start with at pouring that water out. So you're going to stick your bottom right out, so all the water would pour out the front, and then we're going to go the other way, so tucking your bottom underneath you so all the water would fall out the back. Alright, so going one way and then the other way. Try not to let any of the other parts of your body join in with this, you look a little bit silly as well. So just make sure that those hips are doing it. So if I turn to the side, you stay where you are, and I'm just going to do, so it looks like tucking your bottom underneath that way, sticking your bottom out that way. Okay, so just get to know that pelvis moving a little bit. If you find you've got a really stiff pelvis, this might be quite tricky. So this is a really good exercise to get you started with practicing, so you can start to get your hips moving. So just doing it, you can do it in front of a mirror if that helps, so you can get an understanding of what's going on. So bit of tipping forwards and backwards if you're happy with that. Then we want to find somewhere in between the two, so that your bucket of water is nice and level. So we don't want any water falling out the back or the front. Lovely. Happy with that position? We're going to come up to your ribs. Now we want to keep these ribs nice and relaxed, which sounds really strange because they're ribs and they move and they generally are quite relaxed. So a really good thing to do is put your hands on your ribs, really nice deep breath in and all the way out. So when you breathe in, your ribs separate right out to let all the air in your lungs. Now you need that if you're running a race or doing something really, really energetic. But at the moment we're not, we're just standing still. So we want to keep those ribs in that nice relaxed position like when you blow out. So so that position, so they're nice and flat for the rest of your tummy. Now, I still want you to breathe because otherwise you won't be with me very long. So see if you can keep your ribs in that nice relaxed position and still be able to take breath in through your lungs. And the best way I find to think about it is thinking that the air is going out to the sides, which sounds really random, but it works in my brain. So hands onto your ribs, just think about taking air into your lungs and out to the side. So you're still breathing, but your ribs are staying nice and relaxed. Now they will move, so don't panic, but just so they don't stick out here. Okay, so a few breaths there, make sure you're happy with that position, and then we can move on. So from there, we're going to come up to your shoulders, so you're going to shrug your shoulders up to your ears, take the back behind you and drop them down. Good. So think about you've got a nice necklace on and you want to show it off, or if you've got a t-shirt on, so the seams of your t-shirt that usually run down the arms, just imagine you're trying to open them out so you can see more of those seams. So just nice open chest. Good. Imagine you've got a helium balloon on the top of your head, so it's pulling you up nice and tall, and you've got a peach under your chin. So we want to keep that peach nice and safe. We don't want to look up too much so it'll fall down, or we don't want to put our head down so we squash it. Okay, so just nice and relaxed there. So you're up nice and tall, nice and open. So if you looked in the mirror at yourself, you'd probably think this isn't very comfortable at the moment. Feels a bit strange, but it would look really good. You'd look up nice and tall, everything would be nice and even. Lovely. So from here you want to think about engaging that core. Now in the video we do it lying on the floor. It's a little bit more tricky in standing, but give it a go. So always good to keep going at those core exercises and those core muscles and keep them nice and strong. So got our posture, we're up nice and tall, we've got our core muscles working. From there we're just going to go through a little bit of a warm up just to get all of our body moving. So you're going to rise up onto your toes and then you're going to relax back down again. So we want to keep this nice and controlled so it's not really fast. If you find that your balance is a little bit wibbly wobbly, concentrate on something in the room that's nice and still, not a person moving, so that won't help you at all. And just see if you can go up and down, nice and relaxed. Good, we're going to do a couple more. Good, and then we're going to hold this one up there, and then we're going to see if we can let one foot down to the floor, bending the other knee. Good, and then you're going to swap over. Lovely, so it's a little bit like walking, except you're not taking your foot off the floor at all. Good, and then if you're comfortable with that, you're going to add in a little arm swing. So opposite arm to leg. If that really blows your mind, you can do the same one. Just looks a bit funny. Good. So while we're doing this, again, thinking pulling up nice and tall, nice open shoulders, engaging those core muscles. Make sure you haven't stuck your bottom out. All up nice and in line still. Good. If this is an okay level, you can stick at this. If you're feeling like, yeah, if you have got this, you can go a little bit faster. Again, just keep that posture. Good stuff. And then relaxing both heels down there. Lovely. From there, we're going to come up and do a little bit of a squat. So I would turn your feet out a little bit. Make sure your knees are going with them, so they're not still coming in. Good. So imagine you're in a toaster. All right. So you're not allowed to bend over because you'll bend your bottom. So we're just going to squat down and come back up again. Good. So nice and easy. Just getting these knees going, getting these hips going, getting them moving. If you have any aches and pains, knees and hip wise, you know they're okay because everybody's checked them. Just go gentle, don't have to go really low, unless you're a dancer and you want to go low, absolutely fine. We're more concentrating on the position, so we want to make sure those bucket water is nice and level and you haven't burnt your bottom, and you're up nice and tall, engaging those core muscles. Lovely. If you're feeling like that's okay and you want a bit of arms, you can do a bit of arms coming up to the side and down, absolutely fine. If you feel like that's a bit strange, don't have to do it, it's fine. Good stuff. One more. Lovely. Bring those feet back in again. Nice. If you need to check that they're hip width apart, you can go through that bit again. That's absolutely fine. From there, we're going to come to your arms. So we're going to put your elbows in by your side, palms up to the ceiling. Imagine you've got two big plates of food in your hand. Okay? So you're going to cross those hands over the top of each other and out to the side. Lovely. Now the tendency with this one looks very easy. Tendency is to stick everything out a bit like that. So you want to keep everything, ribs, hips, shoulders all in line, so you're just coming out to the side with those hands. You might feel a bit of a stretch in your pecs at the top when you bring them out to the side if you're a little bit tight. If you're not, you might not feel it at all, but it's always good to get everything moving in those upper limbs. Lovely. If you're happy with that, then you can carry on if you feel that that's the right level. If you want it a little bit harder, you're going to come out to the side, raise those arms up so they're up and level with your shoulders. You're going to turn your hands over, turn them back, come in with your elbows and round. So a little bit more of a workout for those arms. If your upper limbs are a little bit sore, a little bit achy, just go careful, nice and gentle. It might be a bit more of a stretch. That's good. Good stretching is good. Lovely. One more. Good stuff. Well done. And relax those arms down by your side. So we're going to finish off with a bit of a rolled up and down, just to get your spine moving. So your spine has lots of little bones stacked up on top of each other. They all move a little bit, so we want to get them moving. We don't want any part of your spine to get really stiff. Now, as we do this, you might find there's a bit of your spine you're like, oh, that doesn't move as well as the other bits. Then you know that's a problem area that you need to work on. If anything is sore or you can't go that low, don't worry, just stop where it's comfortable, listen to your body, okay? So we're going to start from our nice posture up nice and tall. The first thing we're going to do is squash your peach. So we're going to look down, and then we're going to start rolling down one bit of your spine at a time towards the floor, okay? So chin to your chest, roll down from the top of your head first, so head's coming down, shoulders, ribs, bottom part of your back, low as you can go. You can hold it there for a bit of a stretch if you like that. If you don't, little bend of your knees just to take that stretch off. And then coming back up again. So from the bottom of your spine up, so bottom part of your spine, middle part, ribs, shoulders and head. And we want to come back to that nice posture, so we don't just come up and go, oh yeah. So we want to be up nice and tall, shoulders nice and open, hips nice and level, ribs relaxed, and feet have not moved because they don't need to. Lovely. Are you alright with that one? We're going to go again. So chin to your chest, rolling down, all the way down, one bit of your spine at a time. Nice and heavy arms and head, so no tension. Good, little bend if you want to, and coming back up. Good stuff. Lovely. So this time we're going to roll down and then we're going to sit down onto the mat so we're ready for our exercises. I'm going to do it sideways on so you can see what it looks like sideways. You can just stay facing forward if you want to. So, nice position to start, so up nice and tall, shoulders nice and relaxed, hips nice and level. So chin to your chest, rolling down to head, shoulders, ribs, bottom part of your back, all the way down low as you can. Lovely. When you can't go any further, you're going to bend your knees and have a crouch down onto the mat. Well done, fantastic. You survived the warm-up, so that's good. So, pop whatever you need pillow-wise onto your mat, and we're going to have a lie down onto our mat now. So if you have it lie down onto your side, it's better for your back, and then roll onto your back. So just get into the position that we need on the mat first. So you're going to move feet together like we did in standing. You're going to do your toes out to the side, heels out to the side, so we've got a little gap between our knees. Lovely. Then we're going to do our diamond. So same as we did in the engaged core video. So thumbs onto your tummy button, fingers onto your pelvis. Marble in the middle of that diamond, so we're going to think about giving it a bit of a roll around to start with. So you're going to squash your back down into the floor, arch back away. Good. Lovely. And then you're going to find somewhere in between the two so that diamond is nice and flat. Good. Ribs nice and relaxed down into the mat, so you can think about your sandy beach and relaxing your ribs down into the sand. And again, still want to be breathing, so make sure you breathe in. Good stuff. From there, coming up to your shoulders, so you're going to shrug your shoulders up to your ears, drop them down to the mat and slide them down. So that nice open position with our shoulders. Good. Peach under your chin. Lovely. Good. And engaging those core muscles. So if you need to take a few moments just to find those muscles, get them going, get them working, then you can do. Perfect. Once you're happy with that position, our first exercise we're going to do is called hundreds. Now don't panic, we're not going to do 100 of them straight away, but that is your aim, is to be able to get to 100 reps of this. Okay? So, from our nice rest position, you're going to stretch your arms away from you as if someone's pulling them down to your toes, up into the air and pulsing up and down. So a bit like a bird trying to take off. Okay? So nice simple exercise. Don't really have to think about much other than flapping your arms. Good stuff. So it gives your brain a bit of time to think, is my diamond nice and flat still? Are my core muscles working? Are my ribs relaxed? Are my shoulders open? Have I got my peach under my chin? Good. So a few pulses there. If your arms start to get really achy or you feel like it's hard work, I mean that is good, but if it's too much hard work, then just rest your arms down and have a little rest. Okay? Well done. Good. So another set of those. So we're just going to stretch your arms away. Make sure you're engaging those core muscles, up into the air, pulsing up and down. Good. So just do as many as you're comfortable with. If you can get all the way to 100, that's amazing. At first time, I would say just stick to what's comfortable and work your way up slowly. Good stuff. Lovely. So when you're doing this exercise, just pause the video now and see if you can do a couple more reps of those, just to give yourself a little bit of practice of that, so so you're having a good workout. Aim to get as high as you can. As you do the workout more often, you'll try and get to 100, which would be amazing. You can do that 2 or 3 times. Okay, lovely. So we're going to take that up to level 2 now to make it a little bit more challenging. After you've been doing it a while, you'll want a bit of a challenge. So to make it a little bit more challenging, you're just going to take one leg up to a tabletop position. So it goes from your hip straight up to your knee, and from your knee straight up, a bit like a table, so you could rest a drink on it. Okay. This is going to make your core muscles work that little bit harder because you've got less things stabilising you on the floor. So legs up, make sure you've got your nice position before you start. Core muscles are working, they'll be working because this leg's up anyway. And then you're going to stretch your arms away, up into the air, and pulse up and down. So you'll feel your tummy muscles working that little bit harder just because they've got to stabilise. If that is too much, please just stick with the first level, just doing the pulsing arms. Good. So you're going to go as high as you can. Lovely. And then you're going to swap to the other leg, so it's always good to do both sides. So other side, and pulsing your arms there. So again, pause the video now. Do a couple of reps on each side. Just do as many pulses as you can. Don't go too berserk, you've got some other exercises to come. Good. And then when you've done, just have a little rest. You can have a bit of a wiggle around if you need to. If you need to have a sit up and a move, you can do that as well. Good. So our next exercise we're going to go through is called our double leg stretch, which sounds a bit random because we're starting with our arms, but we go with it. So, same position, so if you need to just have a little trek through, make sure those feet are hip width apart, got your gap between your knees, diamond nice and flat on your tummy, ribs nice and relaxed, shoulders nice and open, peach under your chin and engaging those core muscles. So you're going to take your arms up above your chest, and I want you to imagine you're holding a gym ball, so those big balls you get in the gyms. Lovely. So we're just going to take your arms back behind your head and then back up above your chest again. Now these arms can go back as far as you feel comfortable, but you want to make sure everything here stays nice and still. The tendency is, as your arms go back, your ribs come up as well. So we don't want this. We want this all to stay nice and still. So imagine you've got a big tray of drinks on your tummy. Drinks are filled right to the top. So if you wobble too much, if you move, they're all going to fall over. So keeping it nice and still. So really use those core muscles. And the best way to do it is just to not go so far to start with and just get your confidence up with this exercise. Good stuff. You also want to make sure that your legs are staying nice and still and they're not doing a wibbly wobbling as you go. If you find that they are, you can pop your pillow or your chunky sofa pillow in between your knees just to keep them nice and still. Okay? So I would say to do about 10 of those. Good. And then once you've done your 10, I would pause the video again and see if you can do another couple of sets of 10 and see how you go. If 10 is too many to start with, feel free to do 5 or whatever number works for you, and then aim to work up so that you can get to 10. Okay? Fantastic. Well done. So we're going to make this one a little bit harder as well. So the level 2 version, once you've been doing that one and you find it absolutely fine, you can keep everything nice and still. We're going to add our legs in, so it now makes a bit more sense with the double leg stretch. So, arms up into the air. Arms are going to do exactly the same thing, so they're just going to go back and forward, okay? But we're going to add these legs in. So as your arms go back, make sure your core muscles are working hard. Your arms are going to go back, you're going to slide one leg out along the floor till it's straight, and then you're going to bring arms and leg back in together, okay? Then we're going to do the other leg. So arms are going to go back, other leg's going to come out. Good, and we're going to come back in again, okay? And you're just going to keep swapping legs. Good. Well done. So now that you are using your legs as well, you really want to concentrate on this tummy area. So you don't want to move it at all. You'll find your ribs, if you're a person that your ribs want to move with the first level of it, you'll find they really will now. So you've really got to keep them under control. And you're aiming to do a set of 10 again if you can. If that's too many, not a problem. Just go with what you can do and build it up. Good. So I would pause the video there. See if you can do 2 to 3 more sets of 10 of that exercise. Just take your time. And if that's too many, just go for what works and build it up. Okay? Lovely. Okay, so now that you've done those, our next exercise is called scissors. Just concentrating on the legs so the arms get to have a bit of a break. So you can either rest your arms on the floor, or if you prefer, you can put them on your tummy and keep an eye on those core muscles at the same time. Okay? So this is an exercise that's going to strengthen all these lower limb muscles up. Really good if you've got any hip instability, a bit wibbly wobbly, or any knee pains. It gets everything moving. So engage in your core, put your hands wherever you would like them. You're going to do one leg at a time. So one leg is going to come up to that tabletop position that we did earlier. So from the hip straight up to the knee, from the knee straight out as if you could rest a drink on it. Then you're going to bring that back down and then swap to the other side. So the other leg is going to come up and back down. Good. So they're a little bit like walking up the stairs, except you're lying down. Just go with it. Good. So for this exercise, again, we're looking for a nice, stable tummy. So we're not wiggling around, we're not arching as with that leg is coming up into the air. If you find that every time you lift your leg up, you arch your back away here, so you've got a gap underneath your back, this exercise is a little bit too hard for you. So give me a message if that is the case, and I'll give you a simplified version, okay? But you should be okay. So nice and stable in those core muscles. Just one leg coming up and down, other side. You don't have to point your toes if you don't want to. Good. Well done. So again, pause the video there, and then you can do a couple more sets of 10. As you feel more comfortable with that, you can move on to level 2. So level 2 is keep the same position. So again, don't need your hands, so you can just rest your hands down. Engage in those core muscles. So one leg coming up, other leg coming up, one leg coming down, other leg coming down. A bit more tricky. So just make sure you're really ready for this exercise before you start it. Really use those core muscles and really keep a check on the tummy to make sure it stays nice and flat. So one leg coming up, other leg coming up, one leg coming down, other leg coming down. If it's too hard, if you feel like you're arching at all, please just stop and stick to the easier level. It just means that you're not quite ready. It might be that you have a weakness in that area. Again, you can message me and I can give you some other simplified versions or versions to work towards this level 2, because there's a few steps you can do to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so again, if you can do it, sets of 10, 3 times if you can. If not, just what you can do and slowly work up, okay? So one leg coming up, other leg coming up, one leg coming down, other leg coming down. Breathe while you do it. Try not to hold your breath. The tendency is that you want to hold your breath because it's really quite difficult. Good, but really good for these core muscles. Lovely. The other thing you want to keep a check of is that you're not doming your abs. So your abdominals are the muscles that are right in the middle. Your core muscles are more onto the sides. So you can, if your ab muscles are overworking, you'll end up with this dome. So it looks like like the Millennium Dome, I guess, in the middle. So just have a little look down, or get somebody to have a little look, just to make sure all these muscles in the middle aren't working and working too much, and the other ones aren't on these sides. Again, you can use your hands yourself if you want to, just to keep an eye on those. There we go, cool. So pause the video there, a few more sets of 10. Lovely. So we're going to change it up a little bit now. We're going to go onto our side, a bit more exciting. So you're going to roll over to face me. Lovely. So to lie on your side, you want to get into a comfortable position. So you can either have your bottom arm out, pillow over the top, head on your pillow, or you can do a bent arm with pillow, or if you want to, if it's not very comfortable to lie on your arm at all, you can go for a chunkier pillow and have your arm in front. Don't have your arm under because you'll end up in a funny position. Alright? So, lovely. So we want to make sure we're still in that nice straight line. So, from your head all the way down to your toes should be in a nice straight line, like you're lying up against a brick wall, okay? And then that is quite wibbly wobbly if you're in that position. So to make it a little bit more stable, bend your knees up so your feet are on the same line as your bottom and your back. You can lift them up to make sure that they're there. Good stuff. Now you want to think about your hips. So when you lie on your side, your bottom hip squashes right down into the floor. So if you were stood up, you'd be a bit C-shaped and look a bit funny. So we want to make that nice and even because we want to work this posture in the right way. So hand on top hip, give that top hip a bit of a push away. So you should open up a little gap underneath, which will even up these hips, okay? It's quite tricky to do on your own. You might need somebody nearby just to give you a few pointers, have a little look for you, because you can't always see what your body's up to. Okay, so make sure you're happy with that hip position before you start. Top shoulder nice and relaxed. peach under your chin. Make sure your shoulders and your hips are stacked on top of each other so you're not rolling forward too much or rolling back. Not supposed to be really comfy so you go to sleep, okay? Lovely, so you've got that nice position. Now I would rest your hand gently in front to start. As you get really good at this, you can rest your arm up on the side, but you'll have a little bit, try not to squash right down into the floor or grip the mat, so just nice and gentle on the mat there. Lovely, so we're going to do an exercise called climb, which is going to concentrate on these bottom muscles, so your glute muscles. You will be surprised at how hard this exercise is. Even if you watch someone do it, it doesn't look that hard, but it is a killer. So, feet stay together for level 1, top knee comes up towards the ceiling and back down, okay? Just nice and simple, up and down. Looks really easy, absolutely burns in your bottom if you're doing it right. Good stuff. So, you want to keep getting that. You just want to make sure as you come up with your leg, you're not rolling backwards, okay? And also, this top shoulder stays nice and relaxed down, because the tendency is, as it gets hard, is to do this, and then you'll just feel a lot of tension in your shoulder afterwards, probably quite achy. So there you go. So again, a couple of sets of 10 of those. You can give your leg a bit of a wiggle around afterwards and bottom a rub if you need to. If you're doing it in the right way, you'll really feel the burn in your bottom, and it might run down into that top part of your thigh as well. If you can't feel it at all, just have a little check of your foot position. You can bring your feet a little bit more further forward if that helps. Otherwise, just give me a message if you're finding that it really doesn't work. Take a picture of your position, get somebody to take a picture for you and send it to me, and I'll have a little look for you. Lovely, so a couple of sets of that. When you get really good at that, it is quite tricky, so have a little bit of a practice first. When you get really good, obviously you want to make it a bit harder, get those bottoms really strong. So you're going to do both feet into the air, and you're going to go up from there. Okay, so again, doesn't look that difficult. It is quite challenging. It makes your bottom really ache, but that's good. Lovely. Good. So again, sets of 10, 2 or 3 if you can. If that's too hard, if you want to do 5s, you can absolutely, that's fine, you can do 5s. Good. So pause the video there, do all your repetitions, and then you can carry on. Lovely. So remember, once you've done one side, you do have to flip over and do the other side. It's exactly the same, just on the other side, okay? I'm going to move on to the next exercise. Don't skip the other side, make sure you've done both of them. Lovely, so the last exercise we're going to do is an exercise on your tummy. So I'm going to go on my tummy, but I'm going to keep looking at you, because otherwise you won't be able to hear me talking into the pillow. So, first thing first is we're going to get into the position on your tummy. Now it's a bit more of a tricky position because you really can't see much because your head is completely flat down. So it may be a good idea to have someone nearby that can have a little look for you and just give you some pointers. Don't get cross with them. They can see you way better than you can, so that's a good plan to have. So you need a head pillow so that you can lean on. Now if you are a lady that is a little bit more chesty, you might want a thicker head pillow so that you are in a nice line, so you don't end up with your neck down here or up too high. So have a play around with pillows. Ideally, you don't want to really use something that chunky because it's going to hurt your neck, and you want to keep your neck in that nice line, okay? So sometimes towels are also quite good. All right, so we're going to move those out of the way. Head on your pillow. So the best thing to do to start with is just to get onto the floor and see what it looks like. So forehead onto your pillow, arms down by your side. Now I have quite, I've dipped down into the floor quite a lot here just because of my normal posture. So what I tend to do, because you don't want that big dip down into the floor, is to use a little pillow underneath. You can tuck your bottom underneath you to flatten that bit off, but you want to make sure your bottom muscles are not holding on for dear life, so you want to make sure they're not really tense, and you want to make sure you can keep that position with the flattened part of your back. If it's tricky, pop a little towel or pillow just underneath your hips, just to flatten off that part of your back, just so that you're not overworking those muscles and gripping, and your spine is in a really good position, okay? So forehead on the pillow, arms down by your side, okay? And then we're still thinking about having your peach under your chin and engaging those core muscles, all right? Lovely. So it'll look like that, okay? So then we're going to do an exercise called breaststroke prep. So we're working on the shoulder muscles, and what we're going to do is we're going to stretch your arms down towards your toes, a bit like you did with your hundreds, and then you're going to squeeze your shoulders together and down, so they'll come up off the mat and slide down. So we're looking for a good posture rather than them being up here. Okay, I'll do a few reps and then I'll talk to you a little bit more. Okay, so nice flat back, engaging core muscles, peach under your chin. You're going to stretch your arms down towards your toes, squeeze your shoulders together and down away from you, and then relaxing back down again. Good, and again, reaching towards your toes, squeezing, and relax back down. You can also lift your hands if that's comfortable. So stretching away, squeezing those shoulders, hands up. Good, and relaxing back down again. Good, so you want to make sure that you're doing those and your shoulders are nice and even, so you haven't got one that's pulling more than the other. It's quite a workout for those trap muscles on your back, so really good at working shoulders. You might find that this is quite tricky, which is good. It might be one that you want to practice for a little bit longer. It's good for posture as well. If you find you're a person, when you're up the right way, if you're quite hunched, this is going to practice getting those shoulders nice and open, because it's a bit like doing a workout with weights. You are just using your own body strength, your own body weight when you're on your tummy to bring those shoulders up and down. Lovely. So for that exercise, we're just going to stick with that level for the moment, because the next level up is a bit of a jump. So it's good for just for basics to stick with that and just get stronger, because it will help with your posture as well. Okay, so that is all of your exercises. I'm just going to take you through a little cool down, just to get all those muscles cooled back down again now you've done a little bit of a workout and have a bit of a stretch. All right, so you'll finish your exercises on your tummy. So with that last one, just pause the video and do another set of 10. A couple of sets of 10 will be really good. Okay, so finished your exercises now on your tummy. So what I would do, pop your hands underneath your shoulders, going to push through your hands, sit down onto your heels, stretch those arms out in front of you. Just do nice big deep breaths so everything relax. Good stuff. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk your hands towards you. Good, I'm just going to come on my mat a little bit more so you can see me. Good stuff. And then we're going to get you back up into standing. So you're going to tuck your toes underneath. You're going to rock yourself back onto your toes. Good, and then we're going to roll up into standing. So heels down, rolling up through that spine, all the way up. Lovely. Have a set onto your mat. So we're just going to go through a few stretches for you. So you're going to do one for your quads. So one heel up, knees together. Good. Try not to arch your back, so try and think about that bucket of water still. Hold that there. So you want to do 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. Woo. If you find it wibbly wobbly, concentrate on something nice and still. Hold on to your ear. Apparently that works. Good stuff. Going to stretch your calf muscles out, so I'll do it sideways. So one foot forward, one foot back, front one bent, back one straight. Both your feet facing the same way. Not on a tight rope, because that's really hard, but just the same direction. Lovely. Bucket of water nice and level, and you're leaning forward on that front leg, so you want a nice stretch down your calf on your back leg. Good stuff. Think about your posture still. Always good to keep thinking about it. Good. So 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other leg. Good stuff. I'm just going to go through this a little bit quicker for you, so you don't just have to watch me stretching. Hamstrings, up to you how you want to do hamstrings. You can do the classic one heel forward, bending the supporting leg and reaching forward, and do it from the front like that. You can do foot flat on the floor and coming back if that's more comfortable, or you can do two straight and run it down and touching the floor, whatever feels comfy for you. So you want to do one side and the other side, 30 seconds on each side. Lovely. And then you take your arm across, hold on, don't hold on to your elbow, hold on a little bit higher up. Good. Again, think about posture, not shoulders up here, nice and relaxed down, bucket water nice and level. Good, and same on the other side. So again, 30 seconds of each of these. Don't rush through them like me. Good, and then arm over the top, Just hold onto your elbow now, you're allowed to. Up nice and tall. So with this one, none of this. Just tuck that bottom in. Keep those hips nice and level. Good, nice big stretch up. Ooh. Other side. Good. Stretch up and coming down. Lovely, going to give those shoulders a bit of a roll because they've worked hard. Good. And we're going to go the other way. Lovely. Well done. It's going to do your neck, so you're going to look over one shoulder. Again, nice relaxed shoulders, good posture up nice and tall. Back to the middle, same to the other side. Good, back to the middle, one ear to your shoulder. Good, and back up, other side. Good, back up, well done, give your legs a wiggle. Give your arms a wiggle. Lovely, we're going to do one more roll down and roll up, so make sure you're in that nice posture again, feet hip width apart, bucket water nice and level, shoulders nice and relaxed, up nice and tall, rolling down through your spine, one bit at a time. Have a little rest down the bottom, coming all the way back up again. Good, and you're done. Well done, you've survived. Basic exercises for Pilates. Any problems, anything you don't understand, any comments, if you've got any feedback, give me a message on Facebook, Pilates1, like the page, follow the videos and look out for some more videos coming soon. Thank you.